What's going on, YouTube? It's your man Azrael the One here. Hey, listen, I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet because I know usually my videos they go kind of long-winded, and I really need to get back to keeping my videos kind of short, sweet, and easy because I know most of y'all don't have time to sit around and listen to me talk all for freaking night and afternoon and into the next year. But I'm gonna come out and defend Ben Affleck on this one. Now, some of y'all have heard of a story where Ben Affleck tried to cover up that he had a slave ancestor. And of course, like these so-called unquote transparency organizations, WikiLeaks, fuck that group, exposed it. Now, I was surprised that the general black consensus has been, so what? It has nothing to do with him today. Now, that gave me a glimmer of hope. It did. I swear it did. I was like, maybe there's hope yet for this Negro who can think logically and connect some dots. Even if he can't do it on a majority of things, if he can connect the dots here, then maybe there's some hope to restoring true conscious black thought. But it seems I should have knocked off fucking wood. Because here comes these red, black, and green idiots. These so-called unquote pro-blacks. You know, the motherfuckers that never do shit for black people but swear they care about black folk. These motherfuckers were the ones coming out saying, well, Ben Affleck should have publicly admitted it, and Ben Affleck should have came out and apologized to black people and tried to do shit for black people. I'm going to be real. I'm appalled. But I'll get to that later. But the reason why, and I understand why Ben didn't do this. He didn't want this out there. Number one, he's shooting a movie. Eventually, he's going to promote that movie. This could, especially in the last 18 months where race has been a topic of conversation, I won't even say 18 months. Let's just go all the way back to where this shit became a hotbed issue, and everything since that time has become a race issue. And then you know who I'm talking about. The first name is Trayvon and the last name is Martin. Since the Trayvon Martin case, everything concerning a black person has been race. So potentially from a marketing point of view, this could look bad. Even though I do believe Ben has nothing to really worry about, still, you can't be too careful. Okay, that's fair. From a personal standpoint, because then people may get the wrong idea. Well, maybe somehow he made it big off of this, which is utterly preposterous. But you have dumbass people that like to put spins on shit and try to make things appear out of thin air with no real evidence to support it. That happens. And more importantly, because this is something that really doesn't have anything to do with Ben Affleck today. Why do we need to talk about this? I'm embarrassed by it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm sure many people have done some things that they're embarrassed by and don't want it talked about. Now here's where I get appalled. I'm going to drop this proverb this way. I'm sure some of y'all have heard this. If you teach a man, you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. What it sounded like to me was Negroes wanted another person to play the white guilt card on and try to get a handout for. But then again, niggas getting handouts has been the theme for the last 50 fucking years, it seems. That's what it seems like. At some capacity or another, whether it's policies that look like, you know, they're benefiting black folks but diametrically opposed to your black ass, whether it's been portrayals in the media where black people love these films, not realizing that they were reinforcing the stereotypes, not only in the media from pictures and film, but also in the music, to even down to this. The simple inability to create something of their own, and so in order to be somebody, you'd rather be a panderer rather than a borrower. More on that later. That's what it looks like to me. It's almost like this is a fucking shakedown. It truly is. And then to add icing on the cake, you want him to apologize for this? Whoa, 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 whoa. Let me get this shit straight. So you want a man who has nothing to do with slavery whatsoever, never owned a slave, never was directly related to anyone in his generation that currently owns a slave, has not had any holdings that's been passed down from father to son financially that has existed that could say was a direct result of his forefather having a slave. You want him to apologize for this. And your reasoning based on white guilt is because his grandfather did this, he should show that he cares for black people by doing this. Okay, fine, let's run with that. By that same logic, there were niggas that were out there raping and stealing from white folks and murdering white folks in recent history because they were white. Should we as black people go apologizing to whites for Eldridge Cleaver? To name one person off top? Let me know something. Because if that's the logic in the car we want to play, then y'all niggas need to get to apologizing for a lot. A hell of a lot. For y'all attacking white folks. Believe me, there was just a video a couple of weeks, not too long ago, a month ago, where some black beastie beats up on a white girl and her 5-year-old brother. By that logic, that Ben Affleck should apologize for slavery, y'all niggas need to get to apologizing to the white community for that. But y'all are silent as a rat pissing on cotton about that shit, right? That's just what the fuck I thought. I'm appalled. And what it just goes to show is that black folks and this Pan-African / pro-black, pro-African standpoint is just a crock of shit. Number one, it's once again, the first thing you do, I heard and I saw in all this was this perpetual victim card. The same fucking card you've been peddling for the last 30-something fucking years. Second card I heard being passed around was, well, they're asking us to forget. Let me draw a comparative baseline because some idiot I heard on the show decided to bring the Jews into this. The Jews never let you forget about what happened in the Holocaust. And that's their right. They want the world to always remember what was done to them. And you should not let people forget it. I am not telling blacks that you should forget about slavery. I'm not telling black folks that you should even pretend like it doesn't matter. It's a part of who you are. At least historically. But you know what the Jews didn't do? They didn't feel sorry for themselves. They actually went and said, we're going to build our own things. We want to build ourselves up, and we're going to make ourselves strong. So you know what they did? They built communities. And then they built businesses in those communities. And then they built schools. And they built a self-contained society within society. That's why they get the respect that they do. Now, your black ass has nothing stops your black ass from doing the same goddamn thing. Except for, well, we deserve reparations. So essentially, you field hand, you ain't figured out in over 150 years that if this man has not come to you and said, look, I was wrong for what I've done to you. Listen, here's your 50 acres and a mule. Here's something. I know this doesn't make it right, but here's at least something that you can have. If your black ass ain't seen that shit in over 150 some odd years, and today you're still waiting for it, you's a goddamn fool. Off top, you're a damn fool. You'd rather spend your time begging to be a beggar when you could just say, you know what, let me borrow this from you, build my own, I'll pay you back, and then that's it. What do I mean by that? Why don't you borrow the knowledge and the tools from society around you? Say, this is what we can do to make ourselves better. And at least you still have your pride because you're a borrower, not a beggar. You pay your debt back or you give them the collateral to keep and you build your shit up. But that's not what niggas do. No. This is what, to me, if I didn't say this already, I'm saying it now. This is a fucking shakedown. A poor attempt of a shakedown. But this is not surprising. It's not surprising because black folks find some weird way of doing this shit every fucking day. You want Ben Affleck to apologize for something he had nothing to do with. Yet you niggas can't even apologize to each other for killing each other. Let alone for some of you who in recent history have attacked whites for no fucking reason. And I'm not trying to say don't come at me with this I'm kissing up the white folk. I'm being a realist here. I'm being real. So if you don't like it, please do me a favor. Get the fuck on with that bullshit. Please do. Stop wasting my time. Please. You see where I'm going with? It's kind of like you talked it out of both sides of your mouth. And people see that duplicity. And let me take this point to address the white listeners to this video. I honestly, as a black man, am saying this to you. There is no reason for you to apologize for slavery. Now, unless you, in real time, real present day, own a slave, for which you should be jailed and prosecuted to the full extent of the law, why do you have to apologize to me? You did not deny me anything in present day and time. You didn't keep me falsely in prison. You did not rape my wife, sell my children. You have not beaten me. You have not denied me anything. So why do I feel that you should apologize to me? I'm going to be real with you. If you walked up to me and apologized to me for an issue you had nothing to do with, I might be apt to punch you in the mouth for just being stupid. This white guilt shit has to fucking stop. Seriously. It's annoying. And what's worse, it sets us back. Because we'll spend the next 50 years trying to get white people to realize, y'all did us wrong. We don't need white folks to acknowledge that shit. The history books do it for you. Well, they don't teach us about slavery and what really went on in slavery in school. Duh, motherfucker. It's not the school's job to teach you. It's your parents' job. It's your job. Why do you need people to tell you what's going on when you can go look it up for yourself? But then, if you did that, speaking of slavery, you would realize that it wasn't just whites that had slaves. At some point in America's history, guess who was also slaving niggas? Niggas was slaving niggas. But that, of course, that wouldn't fit the narrative and you don't want to talk about it. But I understand. I understand. Point being, y'all need to quit. Seriously. And Mr. Ben Affleck, you have my 110% of support. You do. Because this is fucked up. Nobody should have to be excoriated for something they had nothing to do with ever. And the rest of y'all niggas going around saying this dumb shit, y'all need y'all ass kicked immediately.